Hello again. Now, the ANC in Limpopo has joined their counterparts in KwaZulu-Natal in defending President Cyril Ramaphosa. The party is calling on former leaders Thabo Mbeki, Jacob Zuma and Kgalema Motlanthe to stop publicly criticizing Ramaphosa. The province's Secretary Reuben Madadzhe is joining us now for more on this. Reuben, good afternoon. Welcome to Today on eNCA. Thank you very much for your time. What's wrong with the former president's criticizing the incumbent Ramaphosa?
Thank you very much, and we want to appreciate the opportunity. Maybe our view is that we think former presidents have got a role to play in building and uniting our movement and our structures. We think they can still raise those criticism and those views within our structures of the movement.
But the former President Thabo Mbeki, for example, was speaking at what is known as the Strategic Dialogue Forum, and the former President Jacob Zuma was speaking at a briefing, a media briefing he called to address his supporters after he is finished serving his 15-month jail sentence for contempt of court. And President Kgalema Motlanthe was responding to questions and making comments at his foundation's 3-day session in the Drakensberg. Those are fairly much legitimate platforms where they can express their views.
Yes, we don't deny that, but what we are saying the former presidents have got a particular role to play in uniting and building the movement. But furthermore, we want to put it on record that there are BGMs that are running. Branches of the ANC are busy nominating candidates for NEC. And now, if we're going to spend much of our time criticizing each other in the platforms that are not meant to discuss issues of the ANC, because the platforms that we are talking about are not platforms that are meant to discuss issues of the ANC. And we want to make an appeal. We respect our leaders. We don't want to disrespect our leaders.
Okay.
We are just appealing to them.
Is your appeal based on your concern that ahead of the National Elective Conference, the 55th such conference of the ANC in December, these comments by the former presidents might influence branch members to nominate other leaders and not support Ramaphosa's possible second term?
We are afraid of breeding a wrong culture in the movement, where leadership, which has all the necessary platforms that are created by our movement, will not raise issues internally and will go and raise issues outside the structures of the organization. We were going to agree with former presidents if they were saying they are being refused opportunity to raise those issues inside the formal structures of the movement. But from where we sit in, we are going to engage with the former presidents. We have already set up an appointment with former President Mbeki, where we would want also to listen to him and also hear him out or his side of the story.
So Limpopo supports Ramaphosa's second term?
Obviously, we have taken that decision on the meeting of the ordinary PEC meeting on the 6th of September 2022. We have made it very clear that we support President Ramaphosa. We think he must go back for the second term. But you must understand that we are not defending his second term, because that is not the debate. The debate is that former presidents are leaving organizational structures and raise their issues in platforms that are not meant to advance the aims and objectives of the ANC.
Okay. Now, as Limpopo ANC, are you concerned about what might be the way forward in terms of leadership come December if as the former President Thabo Mbeki pointed out on Saturday, if the parliamentary panel finds that there is a prima facie case to answer to by President Ramaphosa regarding the Palapa Farm scandal, what will you as Limpopo ANC then do if the parliamentary panel says he's got something to answer for?
Let us not preempt the processes of parliament, and let us not jump the gun. Let's allow those processes to run their course, because immediately when we start to engage on those processes, we will be seen to be trying to influence branches that are sitting for their BGMs to desert President Ramaphosa because they might be or there may be unfavorable outcomes for those processes. We would want to appeal with everyone that we respect the processes of parliament as well. We must respect the processes that the organization is involved with, the branch general meetings. And we think, we don't want to believe that the criticism and the views of former presidents are being coordinated. We don't want to believe that. We think the former presidents are speaking independently, and we don't want to think that it's a coincidence. We don't think it's a coincidence. We think all of them, they are speaking independently. Hence, we are saying we would want as well to engage them one-on-one. We don't want to use media as well to engage former presidents. They are our leaders. They are the leadership of the movement.
Okay, now no matter how you look at it, Reuben, from the outside, the Palapa Farm issue stands big and tall. It's the biggest elephant in the room before December. And it just might impact on your leadership at the national level if, as you said, after the parliamentary process is finished, if it goes against President Ramaphosa. Are you satisfied as Limpopo ANC that he's responded properly? Because former President Kgalema Motlanthe says that the way the president has dealt with this from the outset, the Palapa Farm scandal thing, is a problem.
No, we don't think it's a problem. We think those are the views of former President Motlanthe. We don't think it's a problem because he went to Parliament twice and tried to explain, and Parliament gave him opportunity to explain his side of the story. And we think now there are processes that Parliament has undertook, which he is still going to cooperate like what he said. We don't agree with the views of former President Motlanthe.
But he went to Parliament after this story broke in the media, not before, not in 2020 after the robbery.
Yes, and that is what we are saying, because that is what we know as well, that he went to Parliament and he explained these things now. But as to why didn't he explain in 2020, it must be left to him and the law enforcement agencies for him to clarify. Because I don't speak for him. I only speak on behalf of Limpopo province.
Thank you very much, Reuben Madadzhe, for your time, the Secretary of the ANC in Limpopo province, telling us that they don't want the discussions about the problems facing the leadership to be debated by former presidents or discussed by former presidents on any other platform except within the ANC structures. That's, of course, in response or in reaction to what we saw happening this past weekend with former presidents Thabo Mbeki, Jacob Zuma and Kgalema Motlanthe separately in different venues under different platforms, different occasions, raising issues around the incumbent president, Matamela Cyril Ramaphosa. But Limpopo province, ANC, stands by the president.